Happy Monday, everyone. Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello.
We are back.
We are both back, but not together anymore.
No, that was,
It was
so fun.
Yes. We apologize if you were hoping to get a full episode live from Walt Disney World like we had hoped for. We really did try, but we were inside a big convention room, and the technical difficulties of doing the whole broadcast live just did not work out. But we got lots of great material, which I hope you've watched some of the interviews we posted already, and there'll be more to come. Keep an eye on our website and our YouTube channel for those, because we had some great conversations with the Disney folks, and it was just so good seeing you in person.
It was so good seeing you too.
So before we jump into the show, we've got a few folks in the chat already, and first up this week is Orange Blossom and Tails. Hello, folks. Thank you for joining us. And also, welcome back to Mr. Michael Bingham. Hello. It's good to have the whole band back together again. It's not the same without you, Michael.
No, it's not.
Thanks for stopping by, and we'll give just a few more moments if anyone else wants to jump into the comments and say hello. Otherwise, we will be heading into the podcast in just one moment. Anything else you want to say, Carly, before we
No, I mean, I guess we could talk about our fun that we had, but maybe we should wait.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a little recap, because we didn't really get to talk post
that would be really
about
fun.
it yet. So yeah, and do we have one more comment? Yes, we do. We got one last hello from Chris Lincoln, aka Sunny Eclipse, saying hello. Hi to you too.
Love your name.
Yep. And I think that's our signal that we are going to kick this recording off right now in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. And Carly, I don't know about you, but I've been spending the week mostly recovering from our fantastic media trip to Walt Disney World. And I just got to say again, it was so good getting to see you in person, face to face, and not through a camera.
Same here. It was such a thrill. I got back Friday, so I was there for kind of a long time. Usually, I'm in Walt Disney World usually once a month for like 2-3 days. This was a 6-dayer, so recovery was longer. And I was sad. We had so much fun. It was really, really special getting to do it with you.
Yeah, it was great. This was my first time staying on property at Disney in quite a few years, and my first time staying at the Caribbean beach since I was in college. So it's really amazing to see how that resort has evolved, and being able to hop on the Skyliner now. That was a really great. I would go back and stay there again for sure.
Absolutely. I really was glad that we stayed there, because I haven't stayed there in about a decade. It was a long time, and I really tried to pack in a lot this trip of old and new stuff. But I gotta say, my biggest takeaway with the Caribbean beach is, golly, that location is everything. Right. I stayed on the side next to the Riviera, and the walk from my room was 5 minutes. I mean, I walk fast, but still, even if you walk maybe a bit slower, 10 minutes. So to have access to both the amazing restaurants at Caribbean Beach, but then also pop over to, Primo Piatto is an amazing quick service at Riviera. I went to La Petite Cafe, which is, I think, the best coffee shop on property every morning. And then just having access to the Skyliner. I love it. I think I told you, but one morning I was a little bit of a hot mess, had forgot stuff in my room. And within the span of a half hour, I went from my room to Riviera, back to my room, back to Riviera Skyliner, and to Hollywood Studios. If you were doing a bus, that would be like a 2.5-hour adventure.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's hot tip. We stayed in Martinique
Yes.
And that, I think, is the ideal location because you're right next to the old Port Royale that's got the food court.
Hmm.
You've got the main bus stop there, but you've also got a bus stop just for Martinique, whichever direction you drive. And it's the closest walk to the Riviera and that Skyliner station. So it's really an ideal location.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know that section is preferred rooms, so you would be paying a little extra, but
Hmm.
you can also request like a specific building, like if you
Hmm.
are a big fan, like say at All Star Music, you love the Broadway section, you can request that section. It's not guaranteed, but
Hmm.
it honestly never hurts to ask. I think not that many people do it, so you
Yep.
might have a good chance, but if you have that location, because the Skyliner at Caribbean Beach to us was about a 20-minute walk the other way. But the
Mhm.
Riviera Skyliner station was 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved getting to see you. We ate lots of food. I know you and I
Yes.
went at the Epcot Festival, and
Oh
it
yeah.
was, yeah,
I did
super
the rounds a
impressive.
couple times. It was a great weekend music-wise. At Epcot,
Yes,
I got to see Information
we were
Society on
very
one
excited.
night,
Yes,
and then come back and see Rick Springfield. So I got I Want to Know What You're Thinking, and then Jesse's Girl. So that was a
amazing.
pretty good doubleheader.
Oh yeah, the
And
crowds for Rick Springfield were absolutely amazing. I know people were lining up like, it's always hit or miss depending on the artist. Hanson, people get there
yeah,
early. This was like a Hanson situation for Rick Springfield. I mean,
yeah.
it was very busy early.
There was no chance of me getting a seat, but I walked up
That's okay. Yeah.
during the concert and stood standing room right behind. And I got a little. I couldn't see him well enough to see how much work he's had done, uh, but I just sort of saw it. But he did actually at one point run through the crowd, through the entire audience, and like high-fiving people up and down rows. And he ran the whole time. And I am many years younger than him, and I was exhausted just watching him. So
Oh, same. Yeah. I mean, I did get to see some up close videos that people I know that like, stalked out spots. And I mean, that
mhm,
man aged like, I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know what work's getting done, but I want to
yeah,
know. It was wonderful. And then I wanted to mention after I saw you and we recorded our podcast,
yes.
I went and did the new tea room at the Grand Floridian.
Oh yes, I want to hear about that. And I also it is not one of our stories this week, but I want to hear about your personal reaction because you were one of the people who got to hear the first two Muppet songs for Rock and Roller,
Oh, yes.
right?
I mean, it's kind of crazy. We packed a lot in a week that
It
I
was a
already
busy week,
forgot.
yeah. So
I
yes,
already
tell me
forgot.
about the tea. This is the new Alice in Wonderland themed
Yes.
tea at the
So
Grand Floridian.
absolutely. So if you remember the old tea room at the Grand Floridian, beloved experience, it's that little intimate back room in the very back of the
Mm,
lobby. And now it's been whimsically redone by Walt Disney Imagineering with an Alice in Wonderland motif. I mean, the vibe is just amazing. If you've been to the
mm,
lobby amongst its crazy renovation they've been doing, it fits in perfectly. I love the Perch, which is that new lobby bar out there.
yes.
And I had a drink there before I went because it's become one of my favorite spots. And this is just so whimsical, beautiful. It's modeled after Victorian conservatory, so super open and airy, emerald green, light tones. If you went before,
Mm,
it was kind of like dark red leather and just
mhm.
very dated Victorian, so it wasn't Disney's fault. It just hadn't been updated in a long time. And that theme is like done. Now it's all floral. The space is beautiful. My favorite is these 3 stained glass windows that are on the wall that separate it from the main lobby. And they are birds, but they're not just any birds. They are Florida birds.
Native, yes, native
Yes, native
birds.
Florida birds. And you'll kind of notice the Florida theme throughout.
Mm.
Some of the highlights were an orange cranberry scone, obviously the orange.
Mm,
And then they work with Twinnings, which Disney has worked with
yes.
for a long time. And they created a tea that you can only find at the Grand
Ooh,
Floridian. And that's also a citrus orange tea. And
very
they have
nice.
it in the tea room and in that little gift shop that's right on that
Uh-huh.
first level. I totally forgot to buy it, but I will be going back because it was Earl Grey with notes of citrus. So it wasn't like too
Interesting.
florally. I
I'm
will
not a
say,
big bergamot drinker, but the citrus
yes.
might help balance that.
Absolutely. It was a really well balanced tea. You could try other ones, but I loved it. I just kept going with it. I've been really into tea lately, so that was exciting. The food, so I just have to say I don't eat mayonnaise and I don't like sweets. So I am so sorry that I can't give a well-to-do informed review. But I got the kid. They let me order the kids one too. My friend got the adult, so we got both. I did try the Cheshire Cat macaron. Delicious. The matcha Mad Hatter, which is on the adult one, and that's kind of the visual they're using and everything. Very good. Alcoholic drinks. I did purchase one of the Upcharge martinis, which is an Earl Grey infused gin martini. Loved it. Super boozy. I will say for the price point, which I think it was like $79, and then I also paid for the drink, which was extra tax and tip. It is one of the more affordable upcharge dining experience that Disney has, but I would 100% do it again. I did it with a girlfriend, and just kind of being able to get dressed up, wear something. I wore like a fascinator, go to the lobby, hang out before, and the staff were amazing. I have to shout out my cast member. She had been there for 20 years at the Grand Floridian Cafe. She knew what was up. They're well-trained in the tea. They let you, it's very much an experience. They let you, sniff all the different loose leaves and whatnot, and presentation. Some of the food is actually like painted once it's placed on your table. It exceeded my expectations experience-wise for the price point. It felt like it it could easily be much higher priced for a Disney World upcharge dining experience, but I would 100% do it again. I would get the cocktails again, and next time I would add the cheese plate, which everyone says is the best cheese plate on Disney property. But I mean, between the scone and the tea and like I say nibbles, it was enough. Like, you get enough stuff. I thought it was enough to be a meal and then some for most people.
Okay. Well, I
did eat before because I wasn't sure.
Considering,
be prepared.
Considering with tax and tip, if you have a drink, it sounds like it could easily come out to $100. So
yes,
I hope
a lot of people don't, and you don't need to. You could just keep trying different teas, But I really wanted to kind of get the full experience, and it was a gin-based cocktail, which tickles my fancy. So I had to have one, and they also have a great wine and champagne list. My friend got that. But if you're looking for something fun to do, I say it's good even if you're on like an adults only trip. I wouldn't say like romantic. I wouldn't like just do it with my husband. It's more of a like girlfriends or family. They're really good with the kid situation. There's teas that are kid friendly, like very fruit forward. And the kids have an entirely different menu, which is why I also ordered the kids menu, because I wanted to get pictures and see it too. I kind of had to ask and, make not a big production, but like when you checked in and, still you'll pay the adult price. I can't promise they'll let you order the kids, but it's a totally different menu.
Oh, okay. There aren't any characters or entertainment though for the kids. So this is maybe something for slightly older kids. Little ones might have not as much patience.
Yes, I guess it really depends on your kid, what they like. The desserts are so cute. Like, they're all very well themed. So maybe that's enough to entertain them. But it's a beautiful setting. All new furniture, carpeting. They totally redid it. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Awesome. And moving right along over to the Muppets. I know you had a special preview over at the House of Blues.
Yes, I am so happy I got to go to a little listening party, but it was done a little bit differently because we can't publicly hear the songs or post about them. So we had
You're not even allowed to like describe what you heard, or
you can.
Okay, all right.
Yes. So I got to hear both songs. The day I was there was the day they announced Born to Be Wild. And they had all these like 70s kind of cool like vests and flower crowns. And we listened to it and it was so much fun. I know you're a Muppets fan. I'm a Muppets fan. I'm hyped for the roller coaster, and listening to the music made me even more excited. I know this one is the one they said that featured, who was it again? Is on Born to Be Wild. It's
was it Camilla?
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't hear Camilla. So,
Okay.
and I talked to our publisher, Matt, a little bit about it, and he's like, I didn't really hear it either. So I don't know how it features, but
Okay.
you know what? In those situations, your mind's kind of running a million ways.
You
So
only
maybe,
get to hear it once too, right?
well, I did
Did you-
get to hear it again, and
Oh, okay.
actually, I listened to it 3 times. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
busy when I went, but I still didn't hear it. But also, I was just really excited just about everything in Muppets. So I didn't really hear it, but other people said the same thing. So I don't know. I also don't really care because the track was really fun. So
Were there any Muppet
Yeah.
any Muppet voices that you did recognize?
Animal.
Like
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Like,
Animal.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So definitely Animal's my favorite. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, I can't wait for the coaster. And I think based on like the production value of what we heard, I think it's going to be a great fit for that ride.
Yeah. I also saw on socials some behind the scenes photos of the Mayhem band, and it looks like I think that's the video that we're going to see at the very end after you get off the ride, where Aerosmith used to be in concert video.
Yes.
Right where the photos are. I think that's where we're going to see those.
Yes, we're being fed little trickles of information.
Dribble.
Yes, and I guess last week they also announced that it's May 26th is the official opening date.
Yes,
but
I booked my park ticket for my
we
pass
don't
on
have
that day.
like annual pass holder preview information. I don't
Right.
think yet. I've been stalking it, but I'm very excited. I actually was watching the Disney Plus show this weekend. It is like one of the most bingeable shows. I was laughing audibly out loud. I hadn't watched it yet. So funny, and definitely watch it before going to ride it.
Yeah, and given this has been an amazingly short turnaround for this transformation,
Right.
so I'm expecting all the changes are going to be, the queue, the pre-show, but I think the actual ride show building, I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes to the props that were in there. Like I can't imagine they've had time to do that much.
Exactly. And with the story, it doesn't really need it. They just kind of were taking over GeForce Records. I did, snoop around the attraction because you could still walk around it. You have to get to Villains. So the car in the archway that you walk under, that's already been painted. And the guitar, the massive, kind of icon of the ride, that's already been painted. Just already over scaffolding. So I guess the biggest change is going to be that pre-show, which closed earlier than the attraction, I believe. Yeah, I was there the last time it was open, which was the Dollywood nights around Thanksgiving. So they've had some time, and I think this will be easy changes.
Yeah, and actually, the change I'm most looking forward to, not that I'm looking forward to standing in the standby queue, but there's going to be queue line videos with celebrity cameos, including my favorite Weird Al. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That was another piece of exciting news last week. Weird Al, Darren Criss, John Stamos, the king of everything Disney. So I'm excited to see more about how they're going to be utilized. These are all like Disney regulars for the most part. Weird Al is very exciting,
Yeah. He basically is a human Muppet. So
yes.
It's about time.
Amish Paradise is one of my favorite songs of all time that I play always on the way to Hersheypark. So
I churned butter once or twice.
I love it. It's one of the best lines. But I mean, I can't wait. I feel like it's going to be here so soon, literally a month. So.
Can't wait. Yeah, right around the corner. All right. Since I didn't do anything too exciting this week, except spend a whole lot of money trying to fix my house and my car and other things.
All the
and working furiously on updates to the unofficial guide to Disneyland 2027 edition. Can't believe it's 2027 already, right? I did not have a lot of thrilling things to talk about myself, so how about without any further ado, let's jump into the news in the queue. All right, we're going to start out this week at Universal Orlando, where a new Universal Express Pass option is being tested. It's called Universal Express Now, and it is a single-use express pass that gives you almost instant access to the express line without having to buy a full day of express pass. This is basically Universal's answer to Lightning Lane single pass. They tested it last fall at Revenge of the Mummy and for some unknown reason Skull Island, which I don't know why anyone would pay extra to ride Skull Island. But now it's been used. It's being tested at select attractions in all 3 parks, including Epic Universe, where it might actually be useful.
Yes. You know what? I personally love this. I sometimes just have a real like hankering to go on one specific ride, but then other rides that I want to do don't really have a wait. So I don't want to buy the whole thing, you know. I don't want to buy a Lightning Lane pass. I don't want to buy Universal Express. So I like this option.
Yeah, as a annual pass holder with the Premier Pass, I get free Express Pass at the 2 older parks after 4.
That's the
But there
best
are
deal ever.
times, there are times where I've been at the parks, like with friends or family who were staying on site and had unlimited Express, and I want to hang out with them during the day, but you know, not necessarily buy a full Express. The ability to just, if I could go walk up to Hagrid's and see that it's a 3-hour wait, but I can spend 20 or 25 bucks to skip that, I might consider it.
I would absolutely do that in a heartbeat. And I will say I have used the after 4 in Hagrid's recently at night. I didn't wait that long, and it was the best thing ever. It's so nice.
Not at all. You know, when they first started Express at Hagrid's, I was regularly waiting 30, 40 minutes. But lately, even when the main line has been, you know, an hour and a half or so, I've been getting onto Hagrid's in 20 minutes or less. So they've been doing a good job of managing it.
They really have. And that is definitely one ride I would pay $25 on just to go on during the day.
So here's some details on Universal Express Now as it is currently being tested. And some major differences between it and the Lightning Lane single pass that you might be familiar with at Disney. One thing is you cannot buy this in advance. This is only sold at the day of in the park on the app. So you can't go on the website and buy one of these ahead of time. You have to be inside the park, inside their GPS geofence, and you have to look in the app, and it will become available sporadically. It seems like they are releasing these for 1-hour windows. So when you get one, you've got an hour to use it. And that hour starts between 5 and 15 minutes after you purchase it. So they're, you know, not releasing these for later in the day during the morning. They're releasing this basically in little 15-minute chunks.
Yeah. So like you kind of said, you know, different than Disney where you're maybe like stacking your day in the morning to see how it looks. This is more for the sporadic guest that's like, hey, I want to go on this and I'm walking past whatever.
Yeah. This is not something that you necessarily use to plan your day. This is, I walk up to the ride, I see that the wait time is way longer than I feel like it, and I whip out my phone to see if it's available. And it will come and go. Which rides are available, what times are available will change throughout the day. And it seems like they're trying to hit this sweet spot where they only sell this when the express line isn't already really backed up. If they basically expect a certain number of people to enter the express queue every hour, as you know, a percentage of how many people are in standby to try to balance that ratio. And if they see, hey, we don't have as many people in express as we counted on, they'll release a batch to try to fill up that express line to, you know, where it's calibrated at. And if there's already people standing in express, they'll hold off to release another batch until that time goes down. So I guess the idea is they don't want people who have already bought, you know, the unlimited express for the whole day to have their wait time increase because people are buying a single use express. They're only kind of using it to fill in that gaps, which means you can't count on it being available.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that Velocicoaster line is backed up, and I would hate if someone spent $25 and then just had to go to guest services and get a
Yeah.
refund because they're upset. So they're smart to be doing it this way.
Yeah. And if the ride that you've purchased it for happens to go down, you know, they're not going to sell passes while a ride is down, but if you buy it and then it happens to go down before you can use it during your window, they'll extend that window to the end of the day, kind of like
Oh,
they do
great.
with Disney
Mhm.
multiple experience passes. But the passes are all attraction specific, time specific. You can't change it, you can't modify it, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So sorry, no refunds.
Yes. But again, this is not meant for pre-planning your day,
No.
working around meals. This is sporadic. You want to go on something and it's
Mhm.
available.
So how much would you pay to skip the line? And I think
$25 for Hagrid's. Yeah.
so the maximum price I have seen so far is $25. I have seen $20 for some rides. Over the other day, they were using it at Epic Universe, and you could skip the line at Hiccup's Wing Glider for 25, Mario Kart for 25, or Yoshi for 20. And of those, I would consider it at Mario Kart if it was my first time on Mario Kart and I didn't want to just take the single rider line, because that line can easily be 2 hours. Hiccup's Wing Glider doesn't usually get that much over an hour if you time it right.
But what if I don't want to wait? I love that ride.
If you don't want to wait,
Yeah.
I would, you know, Yoshi, I just can't see spending an extra $20 on top of my park ticket on Yoshi. But maybe if you had a kid who was really Yoshi happy.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshi is my people mover. So I'm not necessarily going to wait a long time, but it's for a relaxing little ride to sit
Yeah.
down, look around. The little dark scene, although it's small, is great.
You know, I think if you're looking at a $25 cost per ride, and you're looking at an average cost of a 2-day, or sorry, 1-day 2-park unlimited at the studios and IOA, averaging about $250. So basically, if you use it 10 times, it's the equivalent of 10 of these single passes, right? And I think that's probably about the average of how many rides the average person does in a day at the parks, though you can certainly do more than 10. So I guess it all depends on how you use it. Personally, you know, I think my time in a theme park that I'm going to for the first time, that I've only got a single day ticket, my time is definitely worth $20 to $25 an hour.
Yeah.
As an annual pass holder, as a local, my time is not worth $20 to $25 an hour. So
I think
we're
this could be
definitely
good.
gonna-
You know, if someone wants to, it's like summer's almost here. It's getting so hot.
Mhm.
I want to do a half day at my pool. That's not a hotel that comes with
Mhm.
express. And I want to do maybe nighttime or early morning in the park, like bang out 2 rides.
Sure.
This would be the situation
Yep.
to use that and not blow a whole day if you're like, we're going to do 5 hours at
Yeah.
the pool with these kids.
Or if you want to do it the other way around, if you're, you know, gonna rope drop another park, and then hit, say, Epic Universe in the evening, which is always, I always recommend visiting that park in the evening. But you don't want, if you've only got 3 or 4 hours in the park and you don't want to blow 2 of them waiting in line for Ministry of Magic, this could definitely help. Though I haven't seen them selling it for Battle at the Ministry yet. So.
Yeah, I could see that being a little bit while before they do that based on everything.
But we will definitely keep an eye on how this develops and report back on you.
Lots of changes at Universal. It's exciting. You know, they're really trying to test the waters and see what sticks.
Yeah, I haven't been to the parks in a few days, but I'm looking forward to testing this out for myself next time I visit. All right. Next up, we are heading to one of, I know, your favorite parks and mine. Hersheypark is gearing up for their summer celebration. And they are turning the summer of 2026 into a celebration of America's 250th birthday. And that is going to include fireworks and a brand new show.
Yes, and they have the new hotel there, which
Mhm.
I'm very excited to check out. And of course, there's a lot of 250 happening all around theme
All
parks,
of
but
them.
I love that Hershey is getting in on the action. Their fireworks, which they don't normally do,
Mhm.
nighttime spectaculars, so that's super special.
Yeah. So this year, in celebration of the
It's so hard,
semi-decentennial,
yes.
I can never pronounce it. Uh, so Hersheypark is going to be launching their daily summer operations on May 21st, and just 2 days later, on Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd, will be their first big fireworks show of the season. And they're also going to have fireworks on July 3rd, July 4th, and August 8th. So the idea is they want people coming out for the long weekend.
Yes, I love that. And they have a water park at Hershey, so it's kind of really
Mhm.
awesome to maybe hit the water park during the day, go back to your hotel,
Yeah.
regroup, get refreshed, and then you'll have extended summer evening hours, see fireworks, go on night coasters. It's
Mm.
perfect.
And another good way to cool off in the heat of the day is going to be to see the new Sweetland of Liberty live show. This is subtitled A Celebration of the American Songbook. It's going to debut on May 29th and run through Labor Day. It's inside the air-conditioned Chevrolet Music Box
Love
Theater, which
it.
is the big stage there, which has been home to lots of great shows over the years. And I love the description of this. They're calling it an all-new production that brings together music that has shaped American culture from rock and pop to country and soul. And the reason I love it is because it reminds me of America Sings, which was the
Yes.
animatronic musical show at Disneyland way back in the day, which had the similar idea of celebrating America. That was at the time it was America's bicentennial,
Wow.
1976, celebrating America through song, and now 50 years later, minus the animatronics and the revolving theater, Hersheypark will be doing their version.
Yes. No, I absolutely love that. And
Yeah.
it's inside. Love to hear that.
Yes, air conditioning. Pennsylvania can get warm.
It does. Yes.
So other patriotic celebrations you'll find throughout celebrating the America 250 theme will include red, white, and blue decor. Select rides are going to be enhanced with themed lighting and effects. Curious to see exactly what that entails.
Maybe some
Hershey
roller
characters.
coasters. Oh my gosh. The
Yep.
chocolate bar with a
Chocolate
little
bar
mac and
with
cheese with like a George
patriotic
Washington
clothes.
beard.
And even the twin turnpike, the vintage car, basically the Hershey's version of the Autopia, they are going to give some of those cars a patriotic overlay. Also, going to be some star-spangled food and drinks, like a king-size shake, apple pie, because there's nothing more American than apple pie,
Yes.
and firecracker drinks and flights.
I love it. Yeah, and Hersheypark does their seasonal eats exceptionally well. I always love
Mhm.
their Halloween treats, and then their king shake is kind of like their signature sweet. So of course they are
Yeah.
doing something. In the picture, it looks delicious.
Yeah, honestly, nowhere does pastries and sweets better than like Amish country, central
Oh,
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
nice whoopie pie and call it a day.
Um, and as you mentioned, the water park's a great place to cool out. And for 2026, they've expanded the Boardwalk Water Park with new play areas at the Bayside Pier that have 45 new interactive water features. There's also shade structures and improved flow between the water attractions.
Yes, and remember,
Um,
this is included with admission, which is
yeah,
why I love it. It's just kind of like a massive section of the park that it does feel self-contained, but it is
yep.
included in your ticket.
Yeah, and also included in your ticket is access to the summer concert series, though there is additional premium viewing deck if you want to pay to upgrade. And they got some big names this year: Guns N' Roses, Chris Stapleton, Forrest Frank, and Pitbull.
Yes, that
Yep.
stadium gets incredible acts.
Oh, absolutely. Check out all the fun at Hersheypark. Like we said, they open up full time for the season on May 21st. And finally, we're heading over to CinemaCon 2026. where the Disney Corporation has unveiled their movie slate, upcoming film releases, with a lot of familiar names and franchises from their theme parks.
Yes, this was so exciting because there's some mega movies coming very, very soon. Two in mind specifically.
This was great, but also super frustrating because they showed a bunch of trailers and exclusive footage and didn't let people, record it. But they've also not released it. So there's, a million YouTubes, whatever, of people describing what was in this, but it's
how I terribly described.
It's like a game of telephone. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's so hard.
But some of these studio presentations at the Las Vegas convention that just wrapped up, that came from Walt Disney Studios. First up, we got a preview of Toy Story 5. And I got to say, we skipped over talking about it, but one of my favorite things from our Walt Disney World trip was I got to ride Buzz Lightyear like 3 times in a row. And first of all, I'm very upset that my score did not come anywhere close to the one that Matt recorded.
Oh, he's so good.
I blew us both out of the water.
Yes. I will say it was my first time riding it since it reopened. It's so good. It's so clear. I really can't emphasize how you could specifically see your target, and also you could really easily see what you're shooting.
Yes, absolutely. Having the different colored laser dots helps a lot. Something that I didn't discover until the second ride through is that you can now have it fire continuously just by holding down the trigger. But if you squeeze your finger, you can get it to shoot quicker than it would if you just hold it down.
Yes.
So I was looking forward to just being able to relax because there's other games like Men in Black where basically you might as well just hold the trigger down because you're not going to shoot quicker than that. But this, I'm going to end up with carpal tunnel syndrome in my trigger figure.
You know what? Even when it does work by holding it down, I still prefer to do it because there's just something so thrilling about it.
More tactile, yes.
Yes.
The other thing is, I feel like the old version, you had a slightly larger window of where you could hit the target. This, you've got to be dead on that little black center part. Hitting the colored part that's got the Z on it around the black center does not work. So you've really got to have your aim dialed in.
Absolutely. I was trying to hit some from like weird angles, turning my body just because I was going nuts. And it was you really got to get it. But I like that. It makes it a little bit harder.
But I love the visual. I love the new speed tunnel that's now interactive. And I look forward to riding it until I can find all those hidden high value targets, because my old bonus targets no longer give much of a bonus. So also coming up real soon on May 22nd, The Mandalorian and Grogu are hitting theaters as the first new theatrical Star Wars film since Rise of Skywalker, right? Yeah, it's been that long.
I just know the ride's getting updated, and that is, as much as I know.
Yes, I can't wait to finally have a reason to sit in the engineer seat.
Yes,
because engineers on the Smuggler's Run ride will finally be important. You will get to chat with Grogu, or at least press buttons and have him blurp at you in response.
Yes, I have to tell you, my final moment before I left Walt Disney World this last week. I hit Hollywood Studios. I was craving that pretzel bread from Olga's. So I rope dropped it. And as I was leaving, Mandalorian and Grogu came out, and I got my first time getting a picture with them because there was no one there. And it was so exciting.
We also stopped by and just saw him as he was finishing his set and walking off. But as he was leaving, he turned around and Grogu waved at me. Said hi.
So cute. Yes.
At least I think he did.
There's always so many people.
I'm going to believe he did.
Understand, but I was very thrilled.
Next up comes the live action Moana movie, featuring The Rock's wig. That's the only thing I can see. I've seen the trailers, and the only thing I can see is his wig. But if you want to relive the story of Moana before the shot live action remake of a movie that just came out within recent memory, hits the theaters, you can do the Journey of Water inspired by Moana at Epcot right now. And there's also a Moana show on the newest Disney cruise ships.
Yes.
Um,
Wonderful.
And finally, Marvel momentum remains on the roll. They showed a trailer for Avengers Doomsday. And of course, we've got Avengers and other Marvel characters aboard multiple Disney cruise ships and over at Disney California Adventure. And of course, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy over in Epcot.
Yeah. I rode last week. I was very happy. I love that ride.
Yeah, I got a great ride on it. I really, sometimes you get in the seat, and I was in second car, back row, and it just hit just right. Love that ride.
Yes.
So here's a quick rundown. Mark your calendars for these upcoming Walt Disney Studios films. We've got Devil Wears Prada 2 on May 1st, Mandalorian and Grogu on May 22nd, Toy Story 5 on June 19th, live action Moana on July 10th, Super Troopers 3, had no clue that was a thing, coming on August 9th. The Dog Stars on August 28th, Whale Fall on October 16th, Wild Horse 9, November 6th, Hexed, November 25th, Avengers Doomsday, that's on December 18th to end the year, and 2027 starts with Ice Age Boiling Point on February 5th, and Gato on March 5th. It's an interesting slate coming up. And I'm sure we'll hear a lot more of some of those films.
Oh yeah, I think especially The Devil Wears Prada 2 is huge, because I mean the first one came out so long ago and it's such a beloved movie, and I see every time I open up I'm seeing something about it across socials. I mean, this is super hyped and can't wait to see it.
There's a really great interview that came out between Meryl Streep and Anna Wintour about the new film. Encourage you to read that if you're a fan. All right. That is going to bring us to the end of the news in the queue. And before we jump into the main attraction, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for this week's main attraction, we are heading back to Universal Orlando, where there is wild speculation in social media about some testing that we've spotted happening inside Epic Universe. And this is something that, if you have followed the development of this park from the beginning, known was always kind of in the background as an idea, but now it might actually become a reality. They are testing photo validation scanners at the entrance of not just the park itself, but each of the portals within Celestial Park that lead into the different parts of the park. And the rumor is this could lead to Celestial Park being somehow open to people who don't have park tickets, perhaps in the evenings, to make Celestial Park in Epic Universe basically a baby city walk. And I say, bring it on, because I want to eat at Blue Dragon.
Yes, I want to go eat at Blue Dragon and then have an espresso martini at the Atlantic. And mind you, all of these bars, which these are full restaurants that have bars you can also eat at, are dead at night, because people are day tourists are there to ride everything and not necessarily enjoy the amazing food and beverage. And the food at Epic Universe is amazing. The drinks, I've eaten everywhere. It's so good. And unfortunately, we can't add it to our annuals yet. So
no,
you and I are just buying day tickets, but we can keep sustaining this.
No, it is absolutely not sustainable.
Yeah.
And we've talked in the past about a survey that Universal sent out about annual pass holders in Epic Universe that made it very clear that annual pass holders are not getting any kind of unlimited all you can eat, visit Epic anytime you feel like it pass coming anytime in the near future. which hurts. But the ability to drop by in the evenings and just walk around, hang out, get some food and drink, enjoy the vibes.
Right.
That I can definitely get behind that. And
That's all I want. I want to vibe and people watch. I don't need to go on anything.
yeah. So here's the breakdown. Back when Epic was originally built and constructed, there were always at the in the tunnels, the portals that lead to the different lands inside Epic Universe. There have always been these little connectors in the pavement, these little capped over interfaces where they could install a turnstile, just like they have at the front of the park. So now that they've done that, and we've seen them being tested, and it seems like the idea is they don't want people to have to stop and stand still or scan a pass. They want people to just sort of be able to walk freely through and have these scanners be able to pick up their faces and only stop the people if they get flagged, kind of like the equivalent of the Evolve security scanners that Walt Disney World uses for metal detector screenings. Except it's not just to see if you have a knife in your pocket, it's to see if your face has a ticket. So these have not yet been installed at all the locations, so we're going to have to keep an eye on where these are installed and when they're tested. I know I've seen work at the Darkmoor, Dark Universe portal, and the Burke portal, How to Train Your Dragon. I think one place this might be a little tricky is the entrance to Super Mario. All the others have a kind of a runway after you enter the tunnel. At Super Mario, Super Nintendo World, you go straight into that escalator. And so any kind of technical problem or backup, that might be an issue right there. But
it's definitely fascinating. We've also, I think you and I have talked about, Universal does a lot of corporate events where they buy out sections of the park. You'll see them back, setting up a nighttime event back by Men in Black. So this could be another way to maybe have a corporate buyout for Isle of Burke, and then that may shut down and whatnot. But I think they're trying to just do whatever they can to bring people in, maybe during the times where the park is dying off, which is in the evening, at times when food and beverage might be dying off in the evening. So. I
mean, you just open up the app and look for reservations for Atlantic or Blue Dragon in the evening. And you see that, they definitely could use more people, not more people there to ride the rides.
No,
times are as long as they want them, but definitely could use some more people eating and drinking.
I volunteer.
Volunteers tribute. I've heard mixed responses from various people. Some people are really into the idea. Some people are kind of like, annual pass holders should get something first before just the general public is allowed to swarm in, which,
yes, I did kind of go
AP entitlements.
Of reading all the comments. The general consensus was, how can you do this without cheapening the experience for the day guests, day guests, and you don't want them to feel like I spent all this money and I am being questioned why I'm here, and I don't want that for anyone.
Sure. But I mean, if you just go to the park after 5 p.m. right now, you can see there's a huge drop off. Like, people get exhausted by that park, and they start to flee around dinner time. So combine that with testing this Universal Express now. If they would expand that beyond buying an express pass to actually buying a ticket for one ride, that's an idea that goes all the way back to the original concept for Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, which was placed at Universal, where it was with the idea that they could open up the side gate after hours and let people just buy a ride on that. Never actually happened, but I could see that someday happening at least Stardust Racers and Constellation Carousel.
Right. So. Yeah. I mean, it's, again, they're trying all these things, they've been sending out surveys about our annual passes. So just, they got to satisfy everyone and make money. So
maybe we just go back to the idea, the day of the e-ticket coupon.
I was just
books
to say that.
And just go back to a la carte, right? You
Yes.
spend this amount of money just to get in the gate, and then you pay by the experience, pay by the ride. I don't know. Maybe it's time to try that again. Who knows?
Yes. I'm
Um,
ready, please.
so this is obviously just a test. This is only a test. Do not rush out to Epic thinking that you can get in for free now. Because if that happens, we will definitely report on it and let you know.
Yes.
But until then, we will just keep you posted on how this testing seems to be going. All right. That is going to bring us to the end of this week's stories. I want to take a brief look back at some of the comments that you left. And Michael Bingham wants everyone to know that he is excited to ride Buzz Lightyear at the Magic Kingdom and also to experience the new Universal Express now next time he's at the resort. Me too. I've got a day booked at Epic Universe early next month, and I'll be over to the other parks hopefully later this week. And I think I will, for the sake of science, I will test it out.
Same. Yeah. I want to see how easy it is to use, how the times disappear and whatnot.
Before we go, we want to thank our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel again, and be sure to purchase your copy of our Epic Universe magazine in print or digital at our website. I also want to remind everyone to please give us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to us, and please give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media platforms. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you can find me at Adventures by Carly. And last week, my pre-orders for my book, The Unofficial Disney Parks Retro Cookbook, went live. And
I was just going to say, you've had some very exciting news. It didn't just go live, but it went to the top of the charts.
Yes, it hit #1 on theme parks, tourist guides, above photos and everything. I was freaking out. It was quite an exciting week that I will never forget. So that's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. Thank you. And I'm happy we got to be there together.
And I also, I didn't realize until I saw the pre-order and see the cover, you've got a pretty big name contributing your forward.
Yes, it is a legendary Imagineer, Bob Gurr. He was delightful and talked about eating lunch at all these places that are in the book. And it was just amazing that he was willing to do it.
I hope you got to talk to him about his martini recipe.
The Gertie, yes.
He is a cocktail aficionado. I once went to an event where he literally drove out on stage in a custom-made miniature monorail that had a martini bar where he mixed himself a drink while giving a talk.
I think that's the secret to living long, is having just a little nightly martini, and it makes everything get better. Well preserved.
Yes. All right. Well, you can find me at S. Kabursky and at The Unofficial Guides, and pick up copies of my guidebooks at theunofficialguides.com. And until next time, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. And we will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.